All right, so here we added here an input field where we can type our review about Batman, right? And we'd like to be able to click on review and then send that over to the server. Yes, and we hopefully we have a server waiting for this, right? The server wants it in a specific format, right? The format is that it's in the movie review format, right? There's a optional ID, but there might be a optional title, review, IMDb. We only really have the review and the IMDb. Let's just pass those two. Okay, everything else will be created for us. All right, so let's do that. Let's go back to the client. In the container, right? In the container, we are getting the review right here in the create review. What we're going to do is that we're going to post this to our server, right? Using fetch, just like we've been using fetch. But the fetch we've been using so far is go out to IMDb. This new fetch, right, it's going to go out to our own server, right? That lives at HTTP localhost 8080. And it's at API/reviews, okay? And we need to pass along the fact that this is not a get. We're going to override that. The method that we want is a post, right? Because that's what the server is waiting for, right? The server is waiting for a post, right? Post reviews, there you go. It's also, we need to turn on a couple headers to say that our content type is application/JSON, and we can pass along the data as embedded inside of the body, JSON.stringify. The object that is expecting on the other side is an element that calls review, which will have the review right here. Oh, we also need the IMDb. Crap. We need to pass the IMDb as well. Okay. So let's go back to our component and change that. Right. In our component, let's not just pass the review. Let's pass also the IMDb. So let's pass this as an object, actually, where this is the review, and we'll pass also the IMDb. So this is IMDb ID, which is what? It's right here, right? It's this.props.movie, this.props.movie .imdb ID. Yes? All right, excellent. So I'm passing exactly the object. Well, is it exactly? Yes, it is. It's exactly the object that the server is expecting, which is perfect. Right here now, the review is an object, not just a type, not just a string, right? So we could just say, we can just pass in the review object all by itself. Review is now an object, right? Not just a string. Excellent. Here we can do a then with a response, and which is we're going to parse it, and then maybe get back presumably the review that we stored in the database. So let's console log it. Review. There we go. All right, so let's see if this works. Let's see if it explodes. Oops, let me leave the inspect here. Console, I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to review Batman. If we go back to the database, you'll notice that if we do a select on our reviews, notice that there are no reviews, right? So let's see if we can post a review about Batman. Great backstory, back origin story, a great origin story. So let's click on add review, see if this explodes. Okay, notice that it looks like it came back from the server with a generated ID. So that's promising. No title because we never passed the title. If we go to the network, we'll see that indeed we were able to first have the pre-flight. That's our pre-flight. The browser asking the server, hey server, is it okay for me to, if I post something to you, and it's coming back with a 200, and saying that yes, you can post, you can put, you can delete, you can do all sorts of things. And here's the actual post, right? And it comes back with an object. We go to a database and we do the query again. Notice that the movie made it into the database, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Excellent. So excellent. So we were able to save something to a server. The next thing that we'd like to be able to do maybe, right, is that next time I come around and I revisit Batman Begins, right? Notice that if I go back to here and then I go back to Batman Begins, right? If I refresh, right? Notice if I go Batman Forever and I go back to Batman Begins, notice that my review is gone, right? Ideally, I would like to see the review that for this movie. All the people that liked it, all the people who didn't like it, or who has it as a favorite, blah blah blah. I like to see maybe a list of all the folks who have reviewed it. We're not going that far, right? We're just storing a simple review object. Right? But we would like to be able to do it that this details page could be a mash of two pieces of data, right? Data coming from our remote server, or the IMDb server, mashed in, right, or merged with data with our own database, right? And we could totally fetch, because we have the IMDb, we could retrieve the review for this movie. Yes? So let's try and do that next.